don't want to make this last any longer. I want to go home where I keep my Netflix and hot chocolate, which is way more fun than being in an eye gouging contest. And that's where I'm going to go as efficiently as possible.
There you go. Yeah. That being said, Alex said a word that we find extremely important in Jeet Kune Do, which also explains what Jeet Kune Do even is. Jeet Kune Do roughly translates to the way of the intercepting fist. Alex used the word interception just a little while ago. What does that mean? Well, essentially it means that our primary punches, our primary kicks are designed to shut down an opponent as they're moving before they make contact with you. So do we know how to block? Yes. But blocking is discouraged because it's still taking impact. Alex, why don't you continue that thread of thinking?
Sure. Our attacks are designed to... Everything about Jeet Kune Do is geared toward interception. It's the pinnacle of the art, which is, like I said, not fighting, but obviously the absolute best case scenario is fighting by not fighting. You just talk it out. But if you have to fight, which is someone goes to attack you, they're open, and you strike on their opening. You are not reading, oh, it's this technique, it's this, and I do this, this, and this. It is going face open, crack, run. It is the simplest driving toward that thing. Everything is geared toward that. And so we do things that are different from every other martial art because they are geared toward that. Like we fight with our strong hand forward. Every other art fights with the left, if you're right-handed, your left hand to probe and then deliver across. Now, when I spar with a friend who does boxing, it took him a long time to be able to land a right on me because it's farther back and I can see it coming. It is the mathematical advantages of the stance. Everything we do is designed to end a fight, not to prolong it for a crowd. Including Bruce Lee thought, how can I kick men in the balls? So often. He was like Bobby Hill on roids. That's my purse. I don't know you. Put a clip of that right now, because that's what was going on in this man's head. It was become famous, the greatest martial artist ever, the greatest Asian film star, and kick men in the balls. That was his triangle.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Everything we do is geared toward, every martial art goes for opening, but we go for reading. Like one of the big things in Jeet Kune Do is not, like I said, it's not a techniques-based art. It is a kinetics and physics-based art. It is reading the motions. It is boiling things down to their... The beautiful irony to me of Jeet Kune Do is that it is... They say the art of Jeet Kune Do is simply to simplify. It is there's two ways somebody can hit you, straight line, curve line. It's what is the simplest answer of how to deal with this myriad of things. But in so doing, in boiling your plan down to those simplifications, it allows your body to take to those mathematical principles in a way that provides an infinite spectrum of everybody does Jeet Kune Do differently, which feels like it doesn't make sense until you realize, everybody's different, but everybody has, in theory, 2 arms and 2 legs, and now how to use them to maximum efficiency. It is the math of the human body simplified so that the personal attributes can take over and shine through them, because everyone's going to deliver a straight lead differently. But a straight lead is always a straight lead when you teach it to somebody. And so, if we're going to bring this out to an emotional way, emotional language part, it's like, there is something to be said about not overcomplicating your problems. And in so doing, going, okay, what is the best way I can work through this, the healthiest way that I don't step on anyone's boundaries, but also maintain my own, take up space without taking up too much space, where I don't go into narcissism, but I also don't go into self-abandonment. When you tell somebody, hey, just do the level-headed thing, it doesn't really mean anything until you discuss 4 or 5 ways, and then if they learn those 4 or 5 ways, now the shades make a lot more sense because they become applicable to situations, and as they become applicable to situations, your stamp of how they get expressed comes out, and that's Jeet Kune Do's the main thing. For something that is so simple that the ideal situation is someone takes a step forward to you and you punch them in the face with your longest tool and go home. It is I was just about to say something cool. What was it? One of these things about Bruce Lee saying everybody is different. But, what was it? I got lost in the mechanics.
No, it's okay.
I'll get it in 45 minutes, I'm sure.
No, that's the nature of it. We often get lost in the mechanics.
It's that You know what I'm saying. I'm circling around.
No. I know what you mean,
if you will.
No, I get it. I 100% know what you mean. Well, within the vein of us sharing.
Go ahead. The ultimate expression of Jeet Kune Do is personal liberation.
Yeah.
Of how your body does these things. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes, personal liberation.
We're not adhere to style nor system. We are personal liberation.
That leads
emotionally in this situation too.
Right, yeah. Now that leads very beautifully into what happens in the episode Waltz for Venus, because the real main character of the episode isn't really Spike, which the episode, if you know Bebop, you know that they do that a lot, where like our main crew actually ends up being the side characters of stories as they appear as different vignettes throughout the whole series, and this is one of those. The main character is a guy by the name of what was his name? Rocco Bonnaroo or something like that? Rocco Bonnaroo.
Yeah, I think his last name is Bonnaroo or something like that, but it's Rocco.
Yeah. So Rocco, when you meet him on that airplane, he is not somebody that has personal liberation. He is somebody who lives under the thumb of the criminals that he is forced to, be around in order to help his sister Stella survive. The only way that he was able to get a hold of the plant that could cure her sickness was to get involved in these very, very messed up, or get involved with these very messed up people. And they are actually within the next bounty that the Bebop crew happens to be after, by sheer coincidence. Well, the way Rocco meets the Bebop crew in this moment happens to be where Spike was on this plane and he was asleep, and then the hijackers with their synchronized watches decided to take over the plane, and Spike, being half asleep, ended up taking them all out without really trying to. And the untrained eye, they would think, oh, that's just amazing anime stuff. Well, from the Jeet Kune Do eye, you realize that can someone who does Jeet Kune Do literally fight in their sleep? No, but it is referential to the three parts of Jeet Kune Do in terms of the progress that we like to track, which is partiality, fluidity, and emptiness. So in the beginning, just to summarize all this, you have partiality, which just means you're learning how to punch or kick or learning to do anything new in general. And the new thing is uncomfortable for you because it is new. This is true of anything new that you try to learn, especially if you try to learn things deliberately. Then there's fluidity, where you learn just enough about it where you don't have to think so much about doing it, and the answers are a bit more studied. Like, you have them in your pocket, but you have to think about pulling them out at the right time, that sort of thing. Some things you do, some things you don't. Then you reach the stage of emptiness.